This is the lab on IPv6 with SLACC stateless auto address configuration on the PC itself, with the PC grabbing an automatic address with reference to the first 64 bit of the router. First, we start off the lab with pulling a 1841 router as R1. For the switch, today we're going to make use of a 3000 series switch, which is a 3560. And last but not least, we're going to drag a PC out onto the logical workspace. Connect up the 3 different devices. Pass the net interface to port FA010 as indicated. FA01 to FA00 of the router. Double click on the router. Which is now supposed to. Now you're supposed to be on the router 2 interface. Click on the CLI, which leads you to the CLI command interface. You start off by doing some basic configuration. Answer no to bypass the auto setup mode. Enable config T. Okay, let's configure the host name of router R1. As you can see from the diagram itself, okay, we're going to configure 2 different addresses, okay, on the router interface FA00. One is the global unicast at IPv6 address 2001 DAD BEF :1000:1, and also the link local address FE80:1. Let's now go back to the CLI of the packet tracer of router R1. Let's go into the interface FA00. Before we go into the interface, we must ensure that R1 is supporting IPv6 unicast routing by doing the IPv6 unicast routing command. Then let's go into the interface FA00. We're going to configure first the global unicast address 2001 DAD BEF 1000 :1/64, followed by the link local address IPv6 ADD FE80:1, followed by the parameter link local to identify this link local address, followed by a no-shut. Okay, verify the address by doing a show IPv6 interface brief. Make sure that you have the 2 IPv6 address on the interface. And now, way to verify the address is to do a show run and look at the IPv6 address that you can see that has been configured on the interface FA00. After this configuration, let's go back. Now we are going to work on the multi-layer switch 3560 CV switch. Double click on S1 to go to the CLI mode. Okay, now we are on the switch. You know that on packet tracer version 7, the switch itself doesn't support IPv6 by default. We need to enable the support of both IPv4 and IPv6. The config T. The command to do that is SDM before support and default. You need to do a reload before the support takes effect. For the enable mode, config P mode, let's configure the host name so that we are not lost on devices that we can configure. For the address that we need to configure on the switch, let's take a look on the main topology again. As you can see that we are going to configure a global unicast address on interface VLAN as well as a link local address FP80::2 on interface VLAN. Let's go back to the multicast address. Interface VLAN 1, IPv6 address 201 DEAD DEF :1000:2/64 for the global unicast. For the link local, IPv6 at FE80::2 link local. Do a no SLACC to enable the interface. We can do a show run to verify the address that we configured interface VLAN 1. You can see that it's been configured. Okay. After configuring the IPv6 global unicast and link local address on the router and switch, the next will be to go back to the topology and double click on PC1 to go into the desktop tab of the PC itself. Double click. Get into PC1. Go to desktop. Click on IP configuration. If you have enabled IPv6 unicast routing as well as configure IPv6 address on the interface correctly, if you look at the IPv6 configuration and you set to the auto config mode, which is also the SLACC mode, which is stateless auto address configuration, you can see that the PC itself successfully grabbed a IPv6 address with the first 64 bit corresponding to the first 64 bit of the FA00 interface of the router, as you can see here. And the default gateway FA80::1 is the link local address of the router itself. In order to verify that you can reach the router and switch, go to command prompt, do a ping. Let's ping our link local address first. Ping FE80::1. You can see that it is successful. Let's ping the switch with ::2. Other than verifying connectivity for link local address, you can also verify the global unicast address. You can see that it is also accessible for the router and also for the switch. And this is the basic setup for your IPv6 configuration.